June 7, 1944. Normandy, just south of the Vire River. Dawn is still bleeding into the hedgerows. The air smells wrong. Not just cordite and wet earth, but fuel. Fresh fuel. The kind that hasn't been sitting in a burned-out wreck or leaking from a dying engine. The kind that means more is coming. SS Hauptsturmführer Karl-Heinz Richter pauses at the edge of the lane. Boots sunk ankle-deep in mud churned by tracks that are not German. His men fan out instinctively, rifles low, fingers tight on triggers. Somewhere to the west, naval guns thump like distant thunder, slow and indifferent, as if the earth itself is clearing its throat. Richter wasn't supposed to be here. His battalion, remnants of the 12th SS Panzer Division Hitlerjugend, had been rushed forward overnight to seal a gap in the line, one of dozens torn open since yesterday morning. Orders were vague, positions changed hourly, communications were a mess of cut wires and dead radios. And now, here they were, standing in the aftermath of a fight that had already moved on without them. A smashed American Jeep lies on its side in the ditch, windshield spiderwebbed, tires shredded. Nearby, a radio set still hisses faintly, unattended. No bodies, no blood trail. Whoever was here left in a hurry. Richter raises a gloved hand. Halt. You can almost hear it, that instinctive tightening in the chest, the sense that this isn't just abandoned equipment, that something important has been left behind. One of his men, an Untersturmführer, barely 20, calls out from behind a hedgerow. Herr Hauptsturmführer, over here! Richter steps through crushed wildflowers and broken branches. The hedgerow opens into a shallow depression where an American command post had been hastily set up. A folding table lies face down. Crates stamped with U.S. markings are split open, maps spilling into the mud like oversized leaves. Maps. Richter kneels. Not the small general road maps German officers are used to capturing. These are large, laminated, covered in colored markings, symbols, unit designations, beach sectors, assembly areas, arrows, so many arrows. He brushes dirt away with the back of his glove. Jesus, someone mutters behind him, forgetting for a moment whose uniform they're wearing. Richter doesn't answer. His eyes are locked on the paper. He recognizes the coastline immediately. Omaha, Gold, Juno, Sword. Names the German command has been repeating for months, convinced that once the landings came, the invaders could be pushed back into the sea within days. But this is not a landing map. This is a continuation map. Inland routes marked in thick blue grease pencil, fuel depots circled, timetables scribbled in the margins, Roman numerals stacked in neat columns, 5th Corps, 7th Corps, British XXXI Corps, layered wave after wave, moving not just off the beaches, but through Normandy. Richter straightens slowly. He has seen Allied maps before. Everyone has. But those were always aspirational. Plans, hopes, arrows pointing into German-held territory that never quite materialized. This is different. These routes are already being used. A runner jogs up, breathless. Herr Hauptsturmführer, we found more in the farmhouse. They move quickly now. Inside the stone building, the smell of burned paper hangs in the air. The Americans tried to destroy what they could. Matchsticks scattered on the floor, ash smeared across a desk, but they didn't have time. A leather satchel lies half open beneath a chair.
Inside, overlay transparencies, daily logistics summaries, typed sheets stamped secret. He doesn't need perfect English to understand the numbers. Tonnage landed per day, vehicles unloaded per hour, fuel consumption forecasts that stretch not days but weeks into the future. This isn't improvisation, this is inevitability. Outside, artillery cracks closer now, not harassing fire, coordinated, methodical. Richter's men shift uneasily, sensing the change in their commander's posture. He is no longer just assessing terrain, he is calculating scale. The German plan had always relied on one assumption, that the Allies could be contained near the beaches, bottled up before their material advantage could matter. Tanks counterattacking at the waterline, infantry grinding them down while they were still vulnerable. But these documents don't show vulnerability, they show confidence. Richter flips to another sheet. A penciled note catches his eye, written casually, almost arrogantly. Follow-on forces D+5 onward, not dependent on initial beachhead integrity.
not dependent, meaning even if German units broke through, even if the beaches became killing grounds, even if entire sectors collapsed into chaos, it wouldn't matter, because there was too much already coming. Richter feels it then, not fear exactly, but something colder, a professional dread. The moment when a trained officer understands that the problem is no longer tactical. It's mathematical. He looks up as a staff car roars past the farmhouse, heading east. Another unit retreating, another line bending. In the distance, Allied aircraft drone overhead, unchallenged. Richter gathers the maps, stacking them carefully despite the mud, as if order might still mean something. He knows these documents must be sent up the chain immediately. But even as he prepares to report his find, a thought settles in his mind, heavy, unshakable. This invasion was never meant to be stopped at the shore. And if that's true, then what exactly has Germany been fighting for since yesterday? He steps outside, the maps tucked under his arm, as the sky brightens over Normandy. The war, he realizes, has already moved past the point of decision, and his superiors may not yet understand what he's holding. The weight of paper. The road east is a ribbon of churned mud and shattered stone. Richter rides standing up in the back of a commandeered Kugelwagen, one hand gripping the roll bar, the other clamped around the leather satchel. Each bump sends a jolt through his knees, but he barely feels it. His eyes keep drifting back to the maps, tucked under his arm like a living thing. Paper shouldn't feel this heavy. The driver swerves around a burned-out half-track. Smoke still curls lazily from its engine block, the metal ticking as it cools. No crew in sight, either dead or already retreating. It's becoming harder to tell the difference. They pass columns of German infantry moving the opposite direction, helmets low, faces gray with exhaustion. A few look up at Richter's black SS collar tabs, searching for reassurance, orders, direction. He gives them none, because for the first time since the war began, he isn't sure there is any. The regimental command post is set up in a sunken orchard near Tilly-sur-Seulles, camouflaged with nets and branches that do nothing to hide the sound of Allied artillery walking closer by the hour. Richter jumps down and pushes past a sentry without slowing. Inside the command dugout, the air is thick with sweat, tobacco smoke, and the metallic tang of nerves. A field telephone rings unanswered. Maps cover every wall, German maps, bristling with red pins and defensive lines that no longer align with reality. Obersturmbannführer Wilhelm Mohnke, the regimental commander, stands over a table arguing with an operations officer. They're overextended, Mohnke insists, stabbing at a map. They have to be. No army can sustain this tempo. Richter steps forward. Herr Obersturmbannführer. Mohnke turns, irritation flashing, then recognition. Richter? You were ordered to. Richter doesn't salute. He places the satchel on the table and opens it. The argument dies instantly. The room leans in. Richter spreads the maps carefully, smoothing creases with deliberate movements. The Allied symbology is unfamiliar to some of the officers, but not to Mohnke. He fought in France in 1940. He knows what good planning looks like. And this is more than good. This is exhaustive. Colored overlays stack like transparent ghosts. Infantry movements overlaid with armor routes, supply corridors, artillery coverage, air support schedules. Timelines run horizontally across the page. Days marching forward with mechanical certainty. Monk frowns. Where did you get these? Abandoned American command post, south of the Vire, still warm. An intelligence officer picks up one of the sheets, eyes narrowing as he reads. These aren't beachhead plans. No, Richter says quietly. They're post-landing. Silence settles over the dugout. Outside, an artillery round lands close enough to send dirt raining from the ceiling. No one flinches. All eyes are on the paper. Monk traces a finger along a thick blue line, marked red. Ball, he asks. What is this? Richter answers. A logistics route. Dedicated supply corridor. One-way traffic. Few